Good morning, my friends. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. My name is Darren Hancock, and it is Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. I'm closing the door because everybody's excited this morning. My parents are running it, and my parents are going home today, so it's going to be a short day for me. I was reading a note from Michael this morning, and it was saying that after these big range days that you see here, in these London sessions, or sorry, not London sessions, these big range days, like that. He says you got to be careful. Don't take any large positions because you're especially executing in the AM session. Some people over leverage in the AM session. I'm looking for this daily fair value gap to provide some level of support. If it doesn't, and we start to eat into it, look for the order block again and the other daily fair value gap below. So you have the high, the consequent encroachment, and the low of that inversion fair value gap now. This is now inversion. So, yeah, keep your eye on that this morning for NASDAQ, E-mini S&P. Why do I have so many NASDAQs here? One, two. Sorry, let me jump over here. NASDAQ. So here's your E-mini S&P. So we have a large range day yesterday. We popped up, filled that little fair value gap there on the daily, and we reversed, coming back down to this order block. If it just clips the top of the order block, holds that last little piece open, and then we run back up, look for a run on this order block here and this guy here. Rejection block, and then obviously the highs. So I'm thinking about higher prices. I'd like to see this fair value gap now inversion, because we've worked all the way through the bottom of it, broke back up, come back. If we do find a level of support here, that will be down at that, on the hourly basis, that'll be 25. Where is that sitting? So about 25% of the daily fair value gap. Inversion now. So if we do come back to the tops, equal highs, just clap that and then find some resistance off that. That's what I'm looking for this morning. So we'll see what that provides us. I'm going to close this guy out. Makes it a little cleaner for you. I'm just looking here. $4,771. Yeah, I'm looking for that to fill right now. This will get down to the top of the fair value, bottom of the fair value gap and the top of the order block, but not the top of this inversion. 47.54. 47.54 brings us right back to here. New York open session. What is that? Midnight candle. So let's keep our eye on that. There's a small pocket of BISI here on the Dow. price imbalance over here. There's what is the close or the open on this candle is 37,657. 37,655. So it's only two imbalance there, two handles. Now, do we get all the way back to this original consolidation here for the breakout above the high? This would be %. Refill of that little fair value gap there is 62%. Keep your eye on that area. I'll draw this out for you. Kind of want to paint some on the daily. It's a daily fair value gap. %62 puts you right in there. So keep that in mind. And or it's Dixie. We did get a reaction off of that yesterday. We're calling for that, so I'm going to get rid of that. Just so you saw that there was the multiple confluences here that gave me the idea to support price at this level and not to run further, to run higher. There are multiple confluences that gave that a strong rejection. But now we're back into this inversion fair value gap down here. See how we fit the top of it? So if we've just come back, found the top, and we get some support, look for maybe another run back up into that weekly fair value gap, unless the weekly fair value gap is still providing more strength and you're kind of banging around between these two. So in terms of a large range possibility, I'm still stuck kind of in the midpoint of this wick or on this internal range day or an internal trade day, which was yesterday. So we should expect a big run over today or tomorrow. So as long as that's noted in my thing here, I'll make sure that the Breakfast Club is up and running. Yes, we are. Just a little old me this morning. That's okay. That's okay. That's 1 minute. We want 1 hour. See how we're right in between that weekly and daily fair value gaps? We're almost sitting right in the middle of them now. So who's to say where it's going to go? Once one of these gives way, and we find some support either through it and on top of it and start to go up higher, or through this, find support, go lower. Got nothing for you there. British pound. That was the thing there, order block. See how that breaker there? That just popped through that low, so that becomes a breaker. This breaker here, see how the mean threshold provides a level of support multiple times? And a lot of retailers are going to believe that's resistance. We have equal highs above. So look for this inversion fair value gap right here to provide a level of support. Well, that's what we're looking for, is a level of support at that level between there and there. I'll draw that out again so that you guys are aware of it. Let's just kind of keep your eye on this area right here. It's an inversion now. Euro. Let me get all this chaff out of the way. Same thing, inside trade day. We're looking for, it's usually a day or two. If we don't have anything by the third day, this will can sit here and go sideways for a while. We're expecting a big range day happening within a day or two after an inside trade day. US CAD. If we do get an up run today, look for the daily fair value gap above, which means the American dollar should be getting stronger. So you kind of look for confluences above. So if that did provide us a level of support, look for a run back up into that weekly fair value gap again. Because CAD also has that weekly fair value gap above. It has not come back and found support in the last day or so. So this could be the run up into the daily fair value gap above price. Anywhere inside here, even a return to this old low right here. Unless there's something on the other side. There's this low here. Just bringing up Popia just above into that fair value gap and reject off of it. So kind of keep those scenarios in mind. And then look for it. If you do get a hit at this spot and we do get confirmation on the lower time frames for a break in market structure that supports that narrative, then definitely go for that. Yeah, see how we've got a consolidation, ran down, ran above, come back down to find support at it right there. And now we're lifting away, so that gives me more of an idea that we've got further upside run for this fair value gap here in. Mr. Kirk, how are you? Good morning. NQ, please. Yes, I'll be there shortly. I usually do my run through here. New Zealand dollar is finding some support here off the top of this old high. So again, if American dollar continues to run up, then we're looking for further downside. This reprice rebalance looks like a place for it to come running into this order block. Aussie dollar, if we lose 50% of that wick, then we're looking for further downside. So keep that again in mind. That's from yesterday. Still inside that inversion fair value gap here. Japanese yen. Oil. My beloved oil. I do like oil. Mean threshold of the order block. We're reacting off of that. Now you're down into the mean threshold of this order block. See how we're literally between those two? We've come up, found support at it. We validated it here with this candle, came back up inside that order block there, and we've come down, order block, mean threshold. So you're kind of between these two right now in this consolidation, so it needs to make a break either through this order block, mean threshold, or through this one. You're stuck in that range there, and now inside this one. So it's just compressing, waiting for a pop out somewhere. That's the daily. Gold, sideways. Don't worry about all those. Those are the banks. All right, let's get back to here. So, like I mentioned on the way through, let me get this guy out of here. We're looking for this return to this inversion fair value gap, or this BISI here right now. This would be the inversion fair value gap on that side. BISI well, not really a BISI. It's a buy side. We haven't had the sell side yet to balance it out, so we could see a return into that fair value gap inversion and a rebalance of this price here. So if we do get a run down, look for support above at the high, consequent encroachment, and the low, which would also be the bottom, sorry, the top of this fair value gap inversion on this side. So if we do get a return to here and then a pump back up, great. I'd like to see this fair value gap stay open, creating a breakaway gap, and then tomorrow we start to get we'll get a wick back here, and then tomorrow open up and start pushing for higher prices back into here. That would be my needs and wants. So we'll see that would be the that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday would make the high. Wednesday into Thursday would make the high, aiming for this fair value gap above. Thursday reversal, Friday probably running back up there. How's that? Does that coincide with what you got in mind there, Kurt? I want to see a level of support here first. So we're coming up for 718. What are the boys saying in the Breakfast Club? Stand by. Nobody's in the Breakfast Club yet. Again, if you check the links in the description above, you'll see that there's a links to some other social media ones. The Breakfast Club is actually sitting in the Telegram. We have discussions with other members and other ICT charter members are in there as well. So if you like the site and you want to pop into the Breakfast Club, you can go there and have an open discussion with anybody. It's open 24 hours a day. So usually when I'm not on the charts here, I'm in there having a Techmilla, good morning. How are you today? Yeah, you can go into that Telegram Breakfast Club and have open discussions in there about whatever's on your mind for charts. What are you looking at in the hours after I'm not here? I'll be leaving early this morning, take my parents to the airport. So I'll be out of here about 9 o'clock this morning, same time as I was yesterday. And then after today, we will start sticking around a little longer, try and catch the morning macro and the afternoon macro for winding up the new year, digging into the new year here. So by all means, pop in there. You're welcome to join the Telegram chat and have fun. Chat with the guys in there and the gals. I don't know if we have any women in there yet. Come on, ladies. Jump in. All right, so this is NAS. Let's look at, I don't know why I have so many damn NASDAQs here. Get rid of that one. This one was supposed to be a combination of the three, and they're all on contracts. These are the non-contract months, futures. I think this was an objective I'd put in here before Christmas for it to return to this place here, and obviously it did. And this was the next objective during Christmas. I said it would come up to here, then we'd aim for down here. That one's been fulfilled, so I can get rid of that. I don't want that to end up confusing us, but I like these equal highs up here on the hourly. If we dig into that, old lows, equal highs, fair value gap. Anyway, that's the non-contract months. These are the contract months. E-mini, S&P, and Dow. Slightly different. Let's go to the 4 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, and 1 hour. They're heading back for their fair value gap as well. These equal highs. You got to ask yourself which one of these equal highs is it going to return to. I like the idea that if we are going to return in this range down here to up here, at least look for a discount PD array, which is right here. So these guys are still not in the discount in terms of that price leg up there, that little run up from yesterday. If we get a return back to 50% of that, which would be the old high, that would be the key level for me. And I'm going to pull a blue line in there for you guys to see on that'll be the bodies, I would assume. The bodies of the candles coming back down to that blue line. So that's what I'm looking for E-mini S&P. Any opinion about Dixie? Yeah. Well, you know what, my friend? I was looking at Dixie this. I think you're relatively new to this. I haven't seen you in here before. But I was looking at this a couple of days ago, and we were having a discussion about where we thought Dixie would be coming in the beginning of the week. And it looked to me like there was some resistance off of this breaker here, this last down close candle before a run above these highs. We also have a price imbalance. We have a weekly fair value gap that we've already ran through. And we have a weekly fair value gap low. So there was some confluences that would provide a level of support. We've been having wicks up there trying to get through that price. So that was what this was all about, the daily fair value gap inversion, price imbalance, weekly inversion fair value gaps. There's a daily fair value gap in there as well. So I figured there would be more downside potential here, at least back to this fair value gap, which we did. And then today we opened, keyed, come down to it. We just tipped into it, and now we're getting a run back up. So for me, Dixie, if I was going to call Dixie, I would say, now that we're back to this area here, this little gap, look for this gap to potentially provide some level of support. That would be my inversion fair value gap that you want, or just an inversion gap. As price comes back down into here, look for it to continue back up into that weekly fair value gap again, or are we going to bang around between these two? Right now we're at 50%, like we'd said earlier, we're at 50% of that difference between the fair value gap low on the weekly and the fair value gap high on the daily. You're in the middle there. So if, depending on what your technique is, good morning, Off Grid. Depending on what your technique is or what it is that your trading style is, are you a sniper, like a super sniper? Look for trading inside your hours and look for a quick snipe. Right now we're looking at this order block, which we validated it here. We've come back into it here, so we've now hit the mean threshold of that candle, pulled away from it, and now you look at the range that we've got here. So from here to here, look at the 50% of that range. So let me just blow this one up a little bigger for you guys to see. We've got another 4 minutes before we see any sudden pop-outs in the market. So let me just show you this. So if we're looking at 50% of the range, the discount, so you always look at thinking of premium discount. Anytime there's a little swing points and we're inside those, ask yourself, where does price want to run back to in order to gain a discount to sell at a premium? If our upside objective is probably the weekly or daily fair value gap lows here, then, and that gap we're hoping it would provide a level of support. Look at where 50% lines up with 50%, pretty much 50% of that gap, right? So if I was seeing price down here, I'd want to see some level of support off this gap to continue to the upside. If we lose the gap and come down to the opposite side of it, and you see it trade back up in it, so you want to see a full body get through it. If you see a full body get through it, then come back up, find a level of support, look for these lows down here, and a bigger deep into this, or digger deep, a bigger dig deeper into this daily fair value gap. So that's how I'm kind of looking at that range. For you, Tekmila, I also have idea about indices. 1 hour is in premium now. Dixie 5 a.m. swing low. 5 a.m. swing low. So if we reach for these and we push down into this order block's mean threshold, it is also the top of that gap. You see that gap there? So again, it's a key level. We want to see this breakaway gap, sorry, not breakaway gap, this propulsion candle to increase or to provide the level of support. So I want to see, like Off-Grid was just saying, if you could see it take out this low and get back into the mean threshold of this order block, that would also be the gap that you'd find an inversion. You want to get a level of inversion strength or support there to continue to push back up to the upside. So that's kind of where I'm looking for a quick trade. So look for the corresponding actions in your other markets. So if we have a trade down, that would be an upward run on your foreign currency. So if we have a continuation on a downside trade for the next hour or so, for this, then look for upside. We have equal highs in GBP. That's the daily though. We're consolidating on the 1 minute. This is pretty much consolidating on the 5. We now have the regular trading hours gap. Turn to the order block here. Moving back up, British pound. So if we're looking for pound to continue back up, we've got equal high sitting up here. If we do take this out here, there's 50%. If Off-Grid's looking for this down here now at the 2 a.m. low, the swing low here. You're still inside. You're not inside this gap anymore. So if you do get a run down in here to take this out into this fair value gap down in here, and it comes down with a body and closes below that, I would not think, I'm not as inclined to look for a higher run on that than I'd look for a continuation on the downside. That's my idea for what it's worth. Is that aligned to what you guys are looking at in terms of your run on price? So we're just back into the order block 1 hour here. Now this would be interesting if it just took off here. What am I looking for? Ah, did not see that till now. There's a 4-hour fair value gap, now an inversion fair value gap here. We've come up, dropped all the way into it. If we find a level of support here now, and we just continue to start to lift up, that could be it. We may not even get down to here. We may just get into that 4-hour fair value gap inversion. So lower time frames, look for that to provide a level of support now. That would be this guy right here. I don't know why I didn't see that earlier. Okay. Oops. Let's get back to an hour. Let's go to a day. Okay. See how that's finding the bodies of the candles are respecting the bottom of that daily fair value, or that 4-hour fair value gap inversion. Make sure we call that an inversion now. We don't have an inversion. Okay. Just know that that's an inversion fair value gap now. That's inversion time. Okay. So right down, we're at the mean threshold of this order block here. Have a look at that. We've hit the mean threshold. We're getting a reaction off of that. Now, if this is going to provide a level of support, the next 4-hour candle should open up and come back down to here, find some support and start pushing back up. But if this is just a return to mean threshold and we're going to continue on the downside, again, we're looking at that daily fair value gap inversion below price. You're bearish on dollar and bullish on indices. Yeah, so now if we find as we come back down to the 10 o'clock, if we come back down to 10 o'clock, the 4-hour fair value gap high, get some support off that and get some lift, that would be a nice little, look at the gap created here, regular trading hours gap. It's quite huge. So if we come back into the 4-hour inversion and then continue to run these old highs out here and then dig back into this daily fair value gap, that'll be interesting to see. I don't think I'll be here for that, but I hope one of you guys catch yourself a nice little doozy run on that. Okay, let's just return to this breaker here, find some support off of that on the 15-minute right there, and we're reacting quite intensely off of that. Now back to this consolidation, or are we going to drive right through it? That's the 4-hour fair value gap on the 5-minute. I still like this inversion down here, but we'll see. Dow Jones is sitting inside that What's that one? A 1 minute? Oh, 1 hour. It's digging into that one. Oh, it's already hit right through the 1 hour fair value gap. Inside that little price imbalance over here. Nice level. I'll take that out of there. We already have that marked off. We'll see how we're reacting inside here. That 4 hour doesn't look good for that one. We'll see what goes on at the 15 minute. What are we getting close to? We're at 9. We're already at the open. Well, not a lot of news today. Australian dollar, that's it. We got a little bit of action there tomorrow. Thursday seems to be the big. Remember, Thursday's our potential reversal day. So we don't have much action today or tomorrow. We have a 10-year bond auction tomorrow. And the CPI numbers come out on Thursday. CPI is not tomorrow. CPI is on Thursday. What will be your approach? Tomorrow is CPI. No, tomorrow, Thursday CPI. What will be your approach? Well, you know what Michael says about CPI. I'd have to say CPI stands for can't put it in. I mean, a trade. I mean. You can't put it in. Just wait. Wait for CPI numbers to release. Even Michael doesn't like trading CPI because it can be such craziness. So wait for it to settle out before you decide to make any trades. But watch the volatility it injects into the market. Yeah, wait for what is your approach? Thursday, ICT says no trade. Yeah, he's right. That's what ICT says. No trading. CPI. You wait for the numbers to come out. See where the volatility goes in. Look for where price is reached for. You can use Michael's principle that he talks about on how to trade NFP. Non-farm payroll days, and you can look at his video that he has up there on how to trade NFP and on the TGF Fridays. Kind of look at those videos, and it's usually that first swing when the news is released. You'll see that first push and then the drive down. That first push in whatever direction it goes in is probably the direction it wants to go. But with CPI, he says it's not so reliable. So we'll look at that on Thursday and see what kind of we'll watch that first initial reaction to see if there's a Judas swing down first and then the final drive back up. We'll see if it kind of follows that moniker. Well, it's like some people just run in here, grab my opinion, and then leave. They're looking for, they're scouting out, I guess, the overall average of everybody who's doing live streams. Find out, well, they're not we're all in alignment with each other. I suppose that'd be a good way to confirm a belief. You go around to different live streamers and say, what's your opinion on XYZ? If we all give you the same general consensus, then you could say, all right. Four hours still holding. Yeah. What's anybody in the Breakfast Club this morning? Nope. A little quiet there on the old Breakfast Club this morning. That's where I start to dig down into the 15-minute when we get closer to those time frames we're looking for. So all these little fair value gaps on this side have now been filled. We've had a return up into this breaker up top. And we ran through it. And now we're looking to, so far it's following the narrative for the, I'm looking for this daily fair value gap high here. Do we still have support here? On the Dow Jones, look for a return to the original consolidation, old high. Inside this inversion fair value gap on the other side. These are 1 hours. Let's get you into 15-minute here. We have the New York session, midnight candle here. We're just banging around inside this 4-hour fair value gap inversion here. These are all giving way. This is holding. Let's get into this. Needs to be the 5-minute. We filled that 5-minute fair value gap down here inside that 4-hour. Now you want to see a body get through here, come back, find some support here to continue on the downside back into this daily fair value gap down here. Yeah, we've got lots of 15-minute fair value gaps down here as well. We'll see what the next few minutes has in store for us. Let me have a look at my oil. Order block, mean threshold into this guy here. I want to see that give way and start to run these lows. Running for my objective I've been calling for weeks now. Fair value gap fill on the hourly. Run back down. Look at the range here for 50%. Are we getting support at that to run back up, or are we going to start to eat through that fair value gap here? And when it becomes an inversion, we want to see 50% of this give way, which would be right there in the middle of that fair value gap on the hourly. Make it a little bigger for you here. Take 50% of that. That will be about here, which would be a fill of that. If we get a reaction off of that, look for a return back up again. I think I might cut it real short this morning. I'm going to spend an hour with my parents before I have to drive them out to the airport. Tomorrow I'll be back here bright and early. And I might try and get back here for the afternoon session. 12 o'clock is Canadian time, is 2 o'clock. So I might try to get back here for the macro session this afternoon. So I'll do another live session this afternoon. I just want to see what the open looks like first. And we'll see where that's kind of reacting off of that. That's crude oil, gold, sideways. Banks, I want to see banks explode. All my stuff's in there. Wheat. Holy crap, they just gapped up. Yes. Yes. I've been calling for natural gas to make a run up. There's some huge liquidity up in natural gas. Way past here. It starts to get really good up in here. The $9 range. And I'm long on this. Anyway, let's get back over here. That 4-hour sure holding price right now. I'm not able to decide what to do with the 100. The NX 100, what's that? That's your NASDAQ, right? Correct? This one here. If you are undecided on what to do, do nothing. Safest way to be. Wait till you're absolutely sure of something. Right now we're sitting inside this we're sitting inside this 4-hour inversion fair value gap. We're still 9 minutes before our 10 o'clock opening. What's a logical level for it to take out at 10 o'clock and then reverse? At 10 o'clock, I always kind of ask myself, what's the most logical level for it to take out? Like if we're approaching an old high and we're hovering just below an old high, and 9 o'clock's created an old high, I think 10 o'clock's usually going to run that and then turn around and pull back into the range, especially if it's hovering below that. run up, take it out, then reverse. And I get confirmation at 10:10 or 10:10 to 10:17. I look for the silver bullet setup. Depending, unless we're in a big bullish run and you know for sure, and you get a 10 o'clock or 10:01, 10:02 silver bullet, then I'm all over that. Take your silver bullet early. If not, especially in consolidations, and I hate looking for silver bullets inside consolidations, because you're taking the first one and then you're getting beaten on the second one, and then you try the third one, and it's not till after 15 minutes of that bashing around that you get a decent one. So this one, we're looking at the high of 1714, right there. Feels like more downside to me. Six more minutes. Attempts to get up, keep rejecting off of that, rejecting below. Yes, I'm looking like a cat looks at a mouse. Running left or right. Yes, my friend, that's exactly, it's like watching a tennis game, back and forth, back and forth. You're ready to pounce, I'm sure. From you're ready to pounce, man. Yeah, give it 5 more minutes. Load up the legs, get ready for a pounce. That starts the next 4-hour candle, does it not? 8 o'clock, 4, 8. 8. Eight. How does that work? Four to 6. 6 to 10. So yeah, 10 o'clock is going to be the next 4-hour candle. So this is what I'm thinking. If we start another 4-hour candle 4-hour candle. See this? If we get the next 4-hour candle that runs this, fills the fair value gap. Yeah. If this closes above this inversion, and the next one finds some support and starts to run back up, that might be the support that we need to continue further on the upside. That we don't get a fill of this fair value gap here. This 4-hour provides us the support we need to continue on the upside. So the next 4-hour candle, we're looking for support above this. If we close above, come back, find some support on the hourly. And now I am calming down by this crazy move. Okay, there we go. Look at this inversion here. Does it close above that? "15 seconds. We're going to break structure here, then start looking for the potential reversal to go back up. Closed above it, come back, find some support at it. All the way back down to the top of that inversion. See that? Popped above it, came back, found perfect support at it right here. Into the rejection. Okay, we're driving all the way back down inside it here. Back to the top of the wick. We still haven't broke market structure yet to the upside. Still want to find some support here at the top of the fair value gap. Now I'm going to start digging down into the 5-minute, and we'll get into the 1-minute candles. And then I am done for the day. 57, 59, here's 10 o'clock. So returning to here, top of the 4-hour, would be a nice little silver bullet entry, which will put on a trade there. And we'll see how that does. Oh, now I'm telling my mind that every day is not trading day, but my hand's shaking for should I click buy or sell? Oh, yes. If you're wrestling with yourself, my friend, take that hand and sit on it. I'm going to have an entry sitting right here for a buy. Right on that candles, on that fair value gap, right on top of the 4 hour. And we're going to risk 250. Ran the low. Ran these lows one more time. We're going to take this one right here for our silver bullet entry. Right there. And we'll put our stop loss down here below this low. Let's get to do a 4. That's my only trade for the day. Oh, I think we got some more upside today. I'm looking for top of the week. At least back up into here. That's my trade. Put that on now and we'll let you run these old highs out. I like that up there. Okie dokie. That's my my trade for the day, and I'm going to close it out there, and we'll see how that worked out this afternoon. After I get back, we'll see how that trade panned out. I wish you guys a great day, and I will Furba, if you're not right, if you're still not sure, just wait for your the perfect entry for yourself. I will see you folks this afternoon.